happy Monday. Live from Studio 6B, 8 p.m. May 20th. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Lots to do. Busy night. Slick Rick's going to be doing some sports when he gets here. Rick Delgado's here. He's going to be doing some news. David Zier will join us at some point in hour one, coming home from New York City in the Trump trial. We'll talk about what happened there today.
New York City.
I think we said a couple weeks ago the defense would say, Your Honor, our first witness we call Bob Costello. Well, he wasn't the first, but he was called today, and well, the judge was all not that happy about Mr. Costello, and that's because Mr. Costello is going to torpedo, if he's allowed to ever speak, what's left of this total utter S show, embarrassing debacle that's going on in New York City. So we'll get to all of that. Mr. Delgado, how are you?
I'm good. I had a good weekend. You'd have been proud of my Saturday.
Well, here's the thing.
What? Okay,
you're just a little bit of a phony country music fan. You're not really a country music. You make fun of Delbert. You make fun of country music that I play on the show.
Well, your version of country music usually stinks.
Then you send me videos over the week. You send me videos over the weekend of how cool you are.
Because I am
going to Morgan Wallen concert.
Yeah, I went to Morgan Wallen concert. Look at me. Look at me out there with the people. I'm out there with the people. I don't see you. You're at home, huddled in your bathroom, probably in your tidy whities and a robe, puttering around your house.
Who sent you pictures? Well, how'd you get these tickets now?
Now these were a gift for my stepdaughter. She wanted the pit experience.
You're just tagging
there
along.
It is. Look.
Well, those are some pretty good seats.
Those are damn good. Those seats.
Those are Big D kind of seats right there.
Those aren't seats.
Oh, you were in the
standing room only. And when I say standing room, you stand and you don't move because you lose your spot.
Yeah, there's no place to go.
And let's just say I'll never do that again because this ass needs to sit down.
Well, because you're old.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. I got to see Morgan Wallen. Also, there was a woman named, let me see, I have her name here. Hold on. She was one of the open acts. Lauren Watkins. She was the first act.
Lauren Watkins.
She was pretty good.
You saw Nate Smith.
I saw this guy, Nate Smith, was awesome.
Yes, he is.
I mean, if we can somehow get this guy to do like a road show with us, this guy is just, you could tell he's a party waiting to happen. He came on that stage and blew everybody away. Mm-hmm. It was awesome. He was good. Okay. I liked him. I liked him better than the Dilbert, I'll tell you that much. No, he was great. I couldn't believe and I recognized one of the songs.
Well, of course you did.
I think it was the clip that I had there. So he was awesome.
Yeah.
But like I said, yeah, if we ever do a road show, anytime in the next two centuries, if we do a road show, this guy right here, Nate Smith, he's got to be our music. Because this guy's just a party waiting to happen.
Going from MetLife to Studio 6B, I don't know about that, but I mean, we can make an effort.
Yeah, I mean, if we just happen to be in the same city, we'll just claim that he's doing.
So now, are you ready to proclaim yourself a country music fan?
Dude, I've always been a country music fan.
Here we go.
I can go back to when I spun records at my college, University of New Haven in Connecticut. Dwight Yoakam I used to play.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. What song of Dwight's did you spin?
I usually would play like cuts throughout the whole first album. So guitars and Cadillacs and stuff like that. You know.
Oh, very good. I'm impressed.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Very nice.
When I moved to California the first time, many moons ago in '92, that was the jukebox. You get out of the Northeast, everything on the damn radio was country music. Mm-hmm. So I was into the Travis Tritt, the Garth Brooks, the what do you call it?
Wow. I'm like blown away here.
John Anderson, George Strait.
John Anderson.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everybody. I used to know these songs back and forth. This was a big,
So what'd you think of Morgan?
Morgan I thought was good. I only recognized a couple of songs.
He didn't throw any chairs off of the balcony or anything,
No, he didn't throw any chairs this time.
Okay.
But, no, it was a great show. A lot of fun. And the pit experience. Do it once before you turn 30. How about that? That'll be my that'll be my thing. Because one of the things that I think everybody found out, and there was a kid who was about 6'4". He's about your height. Tight end football player for Virginia Military Institute down in Virginia, standing next to me. We were talking a little bit, and I could tell even he was having problems standing there. It's because it's not natural to stand in one place for hour upon hour, and I could see him trying to bend his knees, and he couldn't bend his knees anymore. Yep. So it was rough, but it was a lot of fun. A lot of good people.
At our age, we're not up to holding someone on our shoulders like we're at the Bon Jovi concert. No, that's not happening. So but you got to see Morgan Wallen and Nate Smith and Lauren Watkins, and was that it? Those three?
It was. And there was Parker
McCollum. I mean, Parker McCollum is badass.
I didn't. He was okay.
All right, maybe he didn't sound that good to you.
No, his music sounded fine, but there was nothing that kind of jumped out.
Well, no, he's going to just sit there and sing the songs.
Right, exactly.
Yes,
he wasn't performing
and look very pretty, by the way.
Like Nate Smith there.
Yeah.
Nate Smith was jumping around. He was a lunatic. He was awesome.
Okay.
And then, for the encore, Morgan coming out with his Mariano Rivera Yankee jersey on.
Uh-huh.
And the
what
rest
do you think of his walkout video? That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
It does?
Very
Every
cool.
night on the video screen? Yeah.
Yep.
All right, well, that's good. I mean, you had a much more exciting weekend than I did, obviously.
Yeah. Plus, you lump in the Iranian president getting shot down in Iran.
Should we have a moment of silence for them?
No.
I mean, really?
You want to do a prayer,
Break out the balloons and the things you make sound, the sound makers. I mean, what are we doing in this country? That's embarrassing. That's my lead story to start with, because I'm so embarrassed for this country and the State Department. And leave it to our friend, who's the guy from the State Department that we love? Matt Lee. Remember Matt Lee?
Yep.
Well, here's Matt Lee today trying to figure this out as much as the rest of us are trying to figure it out.
What exactly is official condolences?
So condolences on behalf of the United States government.
Why?
Well, then why doesn't it say that? This is like, official condolences means absolutely nothing, and I'm not even sure why you're offering condolences if this guy was as bad as you say he was.
Look,
why? I mean,
now listen to this.
Because we regret any loss of life. We don't want to see people die in helicopter crashes. It doesn't change our view of him.
That is weak. These people are so pathetically weak. That's pathetic. Here you have Trump taking out their number one guy, Soleimani, and coming out, if you remember his speech, he comes out, what's his name, the comedian, actually makes jokes about it. Shane Gillis.
Yeah, Shane Gillis.
He says, remember Trump when he took out Soleimani? He comes out to the mic and he just free flows for like an hour saying he died like a dog. Yeah, he died like a dog. And these guys are offering up condolences for these two rotten hell bastards. I mean, can you explain this? No, of course not. Let's go back to Matt Lee.
Actually, I could.
I agree with the regime, but I'll say
one person that you can think of that the United States didn't want to see in an air accident.
There were people on board that aircraft who have families. We thought that's an appropriate step to take. It's the step the United States government has taken when any number of foreign leaders with whom we had vehement disagreements have died. But we also made clear in that statement that we continue to support the Iranian people in their fundamental struggle for freedom.
Really? Well, I would just point out to you that when one of the former presidents of Cuba died, this would be Fidel Castro, one of your predecessors, did not offer any condolences. And basically said good riddance.
So I will. And
if you really think that Raisi was as bad as what you have laid out at the beginning, I'm just a little bit curious as to why you would put a statement out. No matter how short it is, but with the line official condolences in it. I don't
So
get it.
as long as we're addressing the historical record, the United States offered condolences when Hugo Chavez died, when Joseph Stalin died, people with whom we had great disagreements.
Yes.
So
Stalin was also an ally of the United States all through, and we talked about this earlier, all through World War II.
He did not die during World War II. He died afterwards when our disagreements with him were quite clear and quite plain and quite well articulated by the United States government. It is a step that the United States takes, recognizing that people have families, and in no way at all undermining our fundamental view of the Iranian regime and its crimes against its own people and our support for the Iranian people.
Yeah. So Matt Lee can't figure it out, and neither can anybody else. Neither can anyone else, because it's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. And there's no historical example that you could draw to that would be appropriate for these two bastards.
No, did we do that for Muammar Gaddafi? No, we didn't.
The butcher of Baghdad. And we're offering up condolences.
Yeah, just amazing. And you know why they did it? It was because Obama told them. That's my take. Look, everybody knows Obama loves the Iranians. His chief of staff there loves she is Iranian. Of course they're hurt by this. They're probably taking some time to themselves to reflect on this dead Raisi. I think that's the way his name is pronounced, right? As he tumbled into a ball of flames in a helicopter. Ha ha ha. Yeah, they're probably very upset by it because, as you know, they invested a lot of money in this guy, and now they can't get a return on that. So that's just what I think.
Changes pronouns to was and were
and dust.
So we'll talk a little bit more about that. There's a good article about these two in the American Thinker today, about how they got the name the Butcher of Baghdad, and why we should not be offering up condolences, but we should be jumping around with balloons and celebrating that these two are dead. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say I got two more stories that I'm gonna plug for later. How stealing $60K is now known as rebalancing, so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And how I'm not crazy, and John Kasich agrees.
Well, John Kasich. Okay. I don't know if that's the guy you want on your team, but
I'll take anybody.
That's fine. You take what you can get, I guess. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Biden's really disgraceful attempted at a speech at this Morehouse College, where it's just so pathetic and disgraceful and America hating as always, to try to pander to an audience that pretty much, I think at this point, hates him. At least some of them do. So we'll talk about that as well. So just getting started live from Studio 6B on a Monday night. All right, let's go into the chat. If you're watching on social media, welcome on in. Make sure you like and subscribe, share the show, hit the thumbs up or the heart wherever you're watching. Glad to have you in. Let's go into the chat here and see what's going on. Trey Davis, I think Zier just walked in. You are correct. Hi, Kathy, on Facebook. No words for how pathetic that administration. It is so pathetic. Hey, Robert, how are you? No, Slick's coming. You're not crazy, Delgado, Sandy says.
Oh, John Michael Montgomery is another one I was a big fan of.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
Like
said,
him.
hey, pretty lady, won't you give me a sign? Give anything to make you mine on mine. Let's see.
He sang it better than that, but yes, that's
Well,
the
I didn't
song.
really sing it. Barely singing. I'm going to sing it. I'll sing it. Cindy says Delgado is usually right.
Yeah, Cindy. That's right, Aaron. You take that.
Cindy's
take that right back into the other room.
Cindy's
and you
clearly hitting the bottle.
Put that in the. You put that in the TriCaster. Yes, the people. People were out.
Bum, bum, bum. Damon, I'm telling my friends about you guys. Thank you, Carol. Are you serious? Someone bought a weed torch because of Delgado?
Yes,
oh, my God.
Dude, I used it again yesterday. It was awesome.
But I laughed so hard.
You know what you got to be aware of, though. You got to make sure when you're using the weed torch, in case there are like dried leaves, you don't set those all on fire.
you don't want to set a fire around
then you got to start running around and stomping them out. My weed torch, man.
Good. Thank you much.
Again, if you're watching on social, make sure you hit the thumbs up or the heart. Like, share, comment. Any interaction we appreciate. Damon, when do you get Rick a UFO t-shirt? I don't know. When we get one that makes sense.
Team Chemtrail coming at you.
Team Chemtrail with a UFO? I'm not really loving that.
How about chemtrail?
What did Slick say?
How about chemtrail?
Live from Studio 6B on a Monday night. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't know. Welcome on in, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Delgado's doing some news. Slick's going to be here to do some sports. He's always got his political meeting on Monday, so he's always a little late. Look who's joined us live from New York City. That would be one Mr. David Zier. David Zier is here. Zier is here in the house. Mr. Zier, how are you?
I'm great, fellas. I just battled traffic back from Manhattan. Living the dream. I was in the trial all day.
Okay.
Fireworks. I got a lot of updates for you guys.
All right, we'll talk about all of that.
Crazy
We
stuff.
touched on a little bit of it. So we'll get your take on it.
Yep.
You there? Was Harry on the highway with you?
Harry was with me.
Now he's staying in
Andrew
the city?
Giuliani. I
Harry's in the
I
city?
left him in the city.
You just left him.
I couldn't take it anymore.
Okay, good. All right, very good. So I'm assuming you guys are back there tomorrow?
We are back there tomorrow.
Is this thing's going to rest tomorrow, or do you think it goes longer?
No. I have a theory.
Oh,
But
Bring it.
I think the judge is dragging this out because the testimony from Cohen was so explosive, and Costello was going to destroy their case even further. So they've been trying to shut everybody up, limit the scope of the testimony. But this is going to go into of next week. Well, maybe Tuesday. It will reconvene after maybe half a day on Thursday. Could even be canceled Thursday.
You know, the thing about the judge is the judge, number one, sees that, the judge, I think, thought he's going to come out a big star out of this.
Yeah,
Yes.
Especially in New York City. And he's going to turn out to be, as the old show was titled, the biggest loser. In the end, it looks like, because he has no control over this. Every legalese smart person, or even semi-smart person that talks about this, is running out of ways to talk about it because we've never seen anything like this.
And I'm not that smart, and I agree.
We've just never seen anything like this. People are losing the words of how to even talk about this thing on a daily basis. You got the judge, not through any formal agreement, but it's wink, wink, nod, nod. The judge is in cahoots with where the prosecution wants to go.
I think he's friendlying it along, yeah.
Friendly and along. I mean, he's denying the former FEC chairman
Right.
the ability to get on the stand. He's denying the defense one of their key witnesses, because he knows he will, not only along with Costello's torpedo,
destroy everybody,
send his own torpedo into the side of his ever-sinking submarine here of this trial.
Yeah, and I think the longer the jury is away from Cohen's the incredible damage he inflicted on himself over the last 3 days on the stand with him there. I think the judge realized that, because originally the judge was like, we're going to wrap this up. Everybody's going to rest by the end of the week. But it doesn't look that way. I think they're trying to create a little buffer, let things cool down, get this out of the jury's mind about Cohen, that he's a thief and a liar and a perjurer.
Well, you think the defense is playing into that by giving them more time to forget about Cohen?
No, I think the prosecution and the judge are wink, wink, nodding each other to extend this out.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. Totally.
Right, but then wouldn't you have to argue that the defense is helping them because they didn't have to call witnesses? They could have said we don't feel the need to do anything.
The defense been battling since I was in there early this morning about Brad Smith. They objected to limiting his testimony because he can't give legal advice, he can't interpret the law. Only he's not allowed to talk about what the Federal Elections Commission can and can't do. Instead of destroying this 7510, the state regulation that these charges can be brought forth under. Brad Smith can decimate this whole case by saying this has no business being in the state. This should be a federal issue, and the feds passed on it, right?
And by the way,
they're trying to limit the scope of the questioning.
And this judge has shown that he barely knows New York state law, never mind federal law when it comes to the FEC, which can be, my understanding, is quite complicated.
Yeah, I think Blanche did an amazing job of threading along the narrative that the only one to make money during this whole procedure, either for Trump or from Trump or against Trump, is Michael Cohen, and he made $4.6 million since his conviction of his online merch and all this other stuff in his books. But he made millions under Trump. And established that he actually was doing legal work for Trump. This wasn't just reimbursement at $35,000 a month for 12 months, totaling $420, which didn't include any legal fees. He was working for Melania Trump. He was doing stuff for Tiffany. He was doing stuff for Donald Trump. He was working just like he had private clients the whole time. He had AT&T, he had these other big clients, and one of them Trump gave him, or introduced, the guy to, and wound up getting like $1 million a year, $600,000 a year, $900,000 a year, millions of dollars in consulting legally for these people while he was Trump's personal attorney. I don't think Trump was too pleased about that at the time. Stories on the ground were that he wasn't happy about the AT&T representation Trump that Michael Cohen was offering. But I think that Blanche really established everything here that needed to be said, and it was just so damaging. He laid out all the lies, he laid out all the money, he laid out his motives, and there were jurors taking notes feverishly. There were 3 jurors I noticed taking notes nonstop, which was, I guess, somewhat encouraging that they weren't just, saying maybe they thought it was going to be a walk in the park originally. Yeah. And now it's more complicated than they thought. It's not so easy to get this conviction. There's no there. There's no crime.
And you also got to look at the prosecution's witnesses. Say what you want, but if you're not a likable person, like Michael Cohen is not a likable person,
no, that
is going to hurt you. And, it just makes me think that the prosecution thinks all we need is to sit a jury. We'll give them this. They'll take it. They'll lap it up because they want a conviction. Maybe in the first couple days that was the case, but as this thing has gone on, now they've gotten you make the point of all the note taking. Maybe they've gotten very serious about this. Going, what the hell are we watching?
You can cut the air with a knife when Bob Costello said, "Geez." Because he couldn't believe every time he would go to say something or every time a question was asked, there was a sustain of an objection against the defense. And then he got really upset. And then he said, this is ridiculous. And then the judge got into it with him, was basically saying, are you staring me down? Don't roll your eyebrows at me or your eyeballs at me. And kicked everyone out of the courtroom so they can confer privately with the attorneys and him. I don't think Costello was having any of it. I think he was onto it. But
Bob Costello, remember, worked at the SDNY, the Southern
Special
District of New
Prosecutor,
York. Yeah. So he knows the deal, and he knows how to say what he wants to say and make sure the jury hears it. And the judge is well aware of this.
Well, some people think the judge did this on purpose.
Well, there's no doubt the judge did this on purpose. The judge is, again, with no formal agreement with the prosecution, he's in cahoots with them, and he knows Costello is a huge red flag danger. That every word that comes out of his mouth is another closer end to this charade in this case. Remember Bob Costello talked about his grand jury experience. Remember he had 6,000 or 600 emails from Michael Cohen, who had waived attorney-client privilege, I believe, he said at the time. And even the grand jury under this judge, they took 6 of the however many emails there were. And he said, well, wait a minute, why are you only putting in 6? And the judge said, well, the rest of them would be considered hearsay. And he said, well, hearsay is allowed in a grand jury.
Right. Yeah, that was great.
So how can you take 6 and not all of them?
Yeah.
So Costello is on this guy's radar. He has been on this guy's radar. This judge knows that guy's kryptonite to this case. And we have to do whatever we have to limit what he's going to say. We're gonna completely tell the defense that they can't bring Brad Smith and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why they don't want him up there. So the judge is in total cahoots with the prosecution, as if this is a mob family, and it's I got you, don't you worry. That's what this is like.
Incredible.
Hey, Sonny, if I do this, you know what that means.
Like a loose connection or something.
Yeah. All right, we're live on social media, Facebook, YouTube, X, Kick,
Rumble.
What else am I forgetting? Anything else? Facebook, YouTube, X, Rumble, Kick. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channels wherever you're watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. I was almost going to go live today on X in the afternoon. So make sure you're subscribed to our X in case I go live. Damon, show us the shirt. Oh, come on. This is the winner. You guys voted.
What does it say? That's a good one.
Number 1 was the winner. Number 1 was the winner. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum.
Hey, everybody, I'm logging into all the social
Tina.
media.
Thanks, Robert.
All right, so what do you mean they were the winner? What happened? What did I miss?
Well, you don't follow me on Instagram, obviously.
Instagram? Nobody goes on Instagram.
Well, that's not true. We got like
I know.
7.
I'm
Thank
I'm
you.
kidding.
Cool kids are there.
Oh, my goodness.
Delgado thinks he's cool because he went to Morgan Wallen.
Yeah. I was hanging out with the cool kids.
1,
on
2,
the
or
X.
3.
I'm on the
This
X.
was number 1. That was the winner. Although I really love number 2. I'm thinking about changing it at 9 o'clock.
I love it.
But I'll wear number 2 tomorrow.
What does number 2 say?
Well, it's my Biden shirt.
All right, everybody, watch me down an energy drink in 3.2 seconds.
So you had to drop Harry at the Motel 6 before you came back to the island?
Yeah, red roof inn. We'll leave the lights on for you. No, he stayed downtown. I have meetings in the morning. I'm going to meet them in the city around 11 and do it all over again. Andrew's covering court in the morning. Giuliani.
All right, so we're live from Studio 6B on a Monday. We were talking about this the Trump scam in New York City, and Bob Costello got called, as we figured. The defense, if they were going to call any witnesses, he would have to be right up there at the top, and of course he was. And of course he's kryptonite to this whole whatever's left of this case. After we got Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen as the two lead for the prosecution. So you think about Stormy Daniels and what happened that day with the judge basically allowing all this salacious testimony and then going, well, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And then Michael Cohen, who everybody going in, including the judge and Bragg and his office, all knew that this guy was a serial liar, that most of what he said was going to be untrue, and they still allowed it to go. Basically subordinating perjury of their witness, which is, I mean, I would think there's, I don't know. I'm not an attorney, but that's, I guess, another story of what the consequences should be for Bragg and his office for basically encouraging and supporting perjury, which their lead witness committed.
Democrats
clearly
Democrats never get in trouble for anything.
Not only that, but you would think as the prosecution, right? You're supposed to maybe plan this out a little bit. Say, okay, let's pretend, let's run through this and see what kind of questions might come up. You think they may have gotten to that point where, hey, did you ever steal money from anyone named Trump? You would think they would have known this was going to be a problem.
And they buried the grand larceny charge that went with it.
Most of this is performance art because they go through all of this stuff. I mean, Dan Goldman has been admitting that he met with Cohen to prepare him. And I'm sure they all were huddling up with him. So it's like a performance art.
And you know what, Dan? Great job. Because as we can see, Michael Cohen crumbled. And it was just amazing, all the stuff we're finding out, what this guy was up to.
He looked beaten down from the minute he took the stand this morning. He looked really beaten down.
I wouldn't suspect that the prosecution may have known about the 30 grand he kept. You know, when you deal with dirtbags, dirtbags will be dirtbags, even to you. If they think that not telling you something because they think it'll never come up, it doesn't surprise me that they got caught themselves with their own witness.
Yeah, but even on Suits, which I can't stop watching thanks to you.
Thank you very much.
As Harry Specter says, what don't I know? Tell me what I'm... Harvey. He says, tell me, what I'm supposed to know. Because if I go in there and get sideswiped again, we're going to have a problem. They usually go and say, look, we're going into this hostile environment. Is there anything you want to make sure you tell me so we don't get blindsided by this?
Yeah, but again, he's a dirtbag.
But a defense or a prosecutor never asks the question they already don't know the answer to also. So the defense knew.
No, but I mean, not on the stand. Not on the stand. He's not going
to tell him. Because
in private.
If he tells them, they may say, well, we can't put you on the stand. And then he's not a star anymore.
But what happened prior, Damon, right? There was other levels of law enforcement involved here. There were other, where along the way did it get buried if that's the case?
Right. I'm not surprised. Again, deal with scum, and scum will be, you're going to get scummy yourself. So the other part of this now is this guy, Bradley Smith, who is the former chairman of the FEC. Now, the FEC is obviously right smack dab in the middle of this case because that's what they need to be able to turn a statute of limitations already run misdemeanor bookkeeping nonsense into copy and paste 34 felony federal counts is what they've done here. So I point you back to Mark Levin's very fine weekend show, Life, Liberty, and Levin, that's on Fox now Saturdays and Sundays. On March 31st of this year, which is not that long ago, he had Bradley Smith on the show.
Great interview.
and he said to him, the Alvin Bragg case rests on an effort to federalize state law to turn a misdemeanor, if there even is one, into a felony based on a bizarre interpretation of a of a violation of our federal finance laws, federal campaign laws, one that was already tried, but interestingly enough, by Jack Smith with John Edwards, and that fell flat, if you remember. Do you want to explain to the American people to the core of what Alvin Bragg's attempt is with respect to federal election law? Well, here's what Brad Smith said. And if you're wondering why, if you say thinking, I've never seen a judge tell a defense that one of their star witnesses can't testify, right. Well, this would be why. Because he said, so to upgrade what would be a very routine misdemeanor in New York to a felony, the DA has to show that this misreporting, as he alleges, was done in order to conceal a crime. The crime, he says, was being concealed was a violation of the Federal Election Campaign Act. And what he says that was that by paying money to Stormy Daniels for her silence, that amounted to a campaign expenditure, and therefore it was not properly reported under federal law. And that jacks the whole state claim up to a felony. Now, the problem with that is that the federal law does not say that anything that you think might help you win an election is a campaign expense. Rather, it's an objective test in which things like polling, paying for staff, paying for headquarters, paying for advertisements and so on, those are campaign expenses.
That's why the FEC passed on it to begin with.
And the law, in fact, specifically prohibits someone from using campaign expenses or making campaign expenses for personal use. That is to pay, things that might help you, like looking good in clothes, plastic surgery, a good-looking haircut, or a nice, relaxing vacation. So you're fresh on the trail. Country club memberships, so you can entertain, or settling nuisance business suits, so they're not an issue in the campaign. Those would all be viewed as personal expenses, and they're not something you can pay with campaign expenses. So I think that's the problem that you have. He's trying to allege that these campaign expenses, I'm sorry, these payments to Stormy Daniels were campaign expenses. And I think quite clearly they exist from an obligation independent of Mr. Trump's campaign for president. You mentioned the John Edwards case. He said, let's go back to that. This was a similar case with John Edwards. People remember him. He ran for president back in the early 2000s. Edwards had supporters who spent money to keep quiet a mistress whom he had gotten pregnant, and that went to trial. The jury ended up hung or acquitting Edwards on a number of counts. That was, finding that was not an offense under federal campaign finance law. So the theory is the same theory. So if you wonder why the judge doesn't want this guy on the stand, because this guy's going to get on the stand and say, no chance that this is a federal FEC problem, and this is some expenditure that should have been filed with our office. No. And it has case law to prove such.
They won't let him discuss that.
Well, no, they won't, because, again, it would be a second torpedo right into the side of this sinking Alvin Bragg ship. Costello is going to be the first one with whatever he can end up saying, and this guy would have been the second one.
Some of the jurors were grimacing while Cohen, or cringing when Cohen was testifying, which I thought was interesting.
Well, I would make the case Cohen was the first torpedo in this.
Stormy was.
Right?
Stormy ended the day, that second day, on a very bad note, and then Cohen, all 3 days, had a bad run. Wasn't good for the prosecution.
Yeah. Either way.
But does it matter in the end, right?
I think it does. At this point, now that it's dragged on so long, I don't think people are just there to rubber stamp anything. I think this has probably opened their eyes to a bunch, because people have preconceived notions going in. You have people thinking, look at a bunch of 2020 voters who are now voting in 2024 saying, I didn't realize all this.
Yeah,
you've got a smaller sample size here with these 12, or you had the alternatives in too, but you have a smaller sample size. Well, now they're seeing the process up front, and they're probably like, this is BS. What are we doing here?
The judge said, "You're right."
You would hope.
You're right.
You would hope they'd have this revelation come to them like, oh my goodness, this guy was right the whole time. These people are nuts, and they're trying to get him on anyway.
Well, I think the judge said he's going to start instructing the jury, and both sides can start wrapping this up. But they're going to get half a day Thursday if there is court. Friday they're off. They got Saturday, Sunday, Monday. These people get to go home. They're not back till Tuesday. It's a week from today, or a week from tomorrow. After tomorrow, they might not see the inside of a courtroom for another week after tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah,
unless they fit in some time Thursday.
Yeah, and good luck avoiding any coverage of this case anywhere, because they're probably all on social media and they all have friends going, "Oh my goodness, did you see this? Can you believe this?" I mean, it's just a natural thing. People are going to do it. Either way, the way this. There's no way for Bragg to win this case. Even if he wins, he loses, right? Because people are going to look at it and go, well, they got a conviction, but we all know it's BS. If he loses, he loses. They can't just all of a sudden, we were talking, I guess, Friday about, a movement for a direct verdict, right, Damon? Mm-hmm. You would ask about a direct verdict. If they do that, that's not good for them as well.
Well, they can't do that now that they've started calling witnesses, right?
Yeah. But any way you slice this, and if it's a hung jury or if they say not guilty, boy, do they lose big. So they lose. There is no way for them. They should have never brought this case out.
A couple of cool things happened today. He had enormous support in there. Will Scharf was in, Alan Dershowitz, a bunch of reps, Eric Burleson, Mary Miller from Missouri, and
I saw Cash Patel there.
Respectively. Cash, I spoke to Cash several times today. I have a little clip. I interviewed him outside at the press conference. Bernie Kerik, stalwart supporter of Donald Trump, and Vernon Jones, I sat next to in court all day. Chuck Zito. The producer and actor. Yeah, he was there. I was very excited to be there. And Trump and Eric Trump acknowledged me. They always see the Real America's Voice news vest. I think it's somewhat encouraging for them to see that, there's some rational media out there.
As opposed to the people like at CNN.
Well,
you want to see Wolf Blitzer?
So really quick, I just wanted to add one quick thing. Alan Dershowitz was there. He was great. But, when Stormy started testifying, I said on the War Room, I think I said the keyboards went ablaze. And all you heard was clickety-clackety, clickety-clack, all the media, right? And when Cohen said he stole the money today, there was silence. They weren't so eager to get that out.
Yeah, but
so that was telling.
But that was all over. And again, CNN had this cut number 6. Wolf Blitzer talking about exactly that, how Cohen stole money from Trump.
Kind of tipped the oxygen out of the room, and they didn't know how to respond.
Yeah.
That's going on right now. Some truly stunning moments in the courtroom, to be sure. Earlier today, Cohen admitting to stashing tens of thousands of dollars from Trump back in 2016 that was intended to go to a technology company. Trump attorney Todd Blanche asking him directly, and I'm quoting now, "So you stole from the Trump organization?" Cohen replying, quote, "Yes, sir."
I have another clip for you from Lawrence O'Donnell, if you guys don't have that, saying stealing isn't really stealing.
All right, live from Studio 6B, we're back. More clips, and we'll do some news and sports. Slickster's here. Do it all when we get back on a Monday night right after this. Slickster, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Big D. How you doing tonight?
How was the weekend?
It was good. I had a good time yesterday. Watched the Knicks get knocked out. I always enjoyed that.
Did you go to any country concerts?
Did I go to?
Oh. No.
I did.
What the hell was that? What even was that? I don't even know who that was. What concert were you? Where were you?
Plugged in.
Morgan Wallen.
Who the hell is Morgan Lolland?
He's one chair short of a load.
What is she? What is the story?
He's the one that
Morgan
threw the chair off the
Wallen.
roof.
Morgan Wallen.
Oh, Wallen.
Yeah.
I saw the sign. You're like, there's only one chair left or something. You
One
lost
chair.
me.
No, I didn't.
Remember he
That
threw
was
the
David
chair
Zier.
off the roof in Nashville last week?
I have no idea who that was.
A couple of weeks ago.
Who is that? Is that a good artist? Good singer?
Good show, Rick?
Oh, it's a great show.
My
What does she
daughter
sing?
loves him.
Achy Breaky Heart?
No, he's got
It's a he, first of all.
It's a he, yeah.
What's that?
It's a he.
Oh, he. Okay. What was the name? Who is it?
Morgan Wallen.
Oh, yeah. See, I think Morgan. Morgan Fairchild. I think of a female.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You
You're
go
not,
either
you're
way.
not dating yourself at all.
Well, I am.
He's got some great songs.
You've been dating yourself since high school. What are you talking about?
You like him, Damon?
I do. It's not my favorite, but I do. I like a lot of his stuff, yeah.
You like the
I
kid
wouldn't
on-
go see him, but
You like the kid on
obviously.
American Idol, Will Mosley? He had a good voice. That country kid, he had a nice country voice.
I haven't watched American Idol in 10 years.
Me neither, but I watched this year. It was pretty darn good.
This is a popular song. This is a popular song.
I ran into
That one.
Sounds like you.
I'm singing it.
No, you can't play it because we'll get a copyright strike.
Oh, yeah, okay. Even on social. Yeah. Even on a break, right.
Oh, that's
Yep.
the worst part.
I knew that already. So thanks for preventing me from canceling you.
Prevente.
Oh, I go to the chat. I'm so tired. Everyone's wearing black today. Black theme for Monday. We all wearing black.
I'm not wearing black.
Slick's wearing purple.
Yeah, navy.
Purple and navy.
Purple and what are
they
those?
go
What's
together.
that called? That design?
Oh,
Paisley?
paisley.
Paisley.
Little
Purple
lavender.
Purple paisley.
Purple. I'm wearing navy, burgundy, and lavender paisley.
Yeah, duh.
I just read the comment. I didn't say it.
Come on.
Wake up, Big D. I know. I'm trying.
He's trying. Speaking of haircuts, you got a haircut this weekend, huh?
No.
Oh, looks like you got a haircut.
No.
No, it was last week.
Last week.
Okay.
Hi, live from Studio 6B on a Monday night. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Lots to do. Slickster's here. Slick, how are you?
I'm doing good, Big D.
How was your weekend?
It was a great weekend. Had a lot of fun. Enjoyed some good TV, some good sports. Good boxing match this weekend, too. Whoop, Saturday
All right,
night.
we'll get into all the sports when we do sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. We'll do that in a second, but let's start right now. Let's do some news, and we'll do news with Rick Delgado. News is brought to you by our friends over at 7Cells, 7cells.com. LFS6B is your promo code to use. At checkout, 10% off. Delgado, what's going on?
All right. Well, I don't want to gloat as more and more people seem to be coming around to the possibility that Joe Biden will not be the nominee. I'm hearing it more and more. More and more people are ripping us off. So let's get right to it. As anti-Trump John Kasich stuns NBC host by saying there's a real possibility Biden won't be the candidate. Believe it or not, he stunned MSNBC with that quote. Let's see. What did I just do with the story? Oh, my goodness. Hold on.
Who said this?
John Kasich, former Republican governor of Ohio and now an MSNBC political analyst.
That's just typical. There you go. Former Republican governor and now MSNBC analyst. Yeah,
Yes.
perfect. It's just another great one
Yes,
from
exactly.
the old party.
He stunned host Jose Diaz-Balart on Friday,
yeah.
speculating that the President Biden may not end up being the Democratic Party presidential nominee. Kasich cited polling data, people's feelings on the economy, the president's poor public speaking events, and his fear over the upcoming presidential debates to say there's a strong chance that the party will choose someone else to run against former President Trump.
Makes me feel much better about our position, me and Solomon, because Kasich is clueless. He's as clueless as Biden is.
He says, and I quote, "I'm starting to wonder that there's a real possibility that Joe Biden will not be the Democrat nominee," he said on Friday. After noting that Trump is currently beating Biden in the swing state polls, Kasich continued, "The fact that the economy is not turning, the fact that people are saying it's a terrible economy for them, the fact that they said they don't have any confidence Joe Biden can fix it. His public appearances have not been good, and now they've agreed to 2 debates, which is out out there as far as you can get. He then proposed a hypothesis that Biden not getting the Democratic Party nod, to which the host asked Governor, where is this coming from? Kasich insisted he based the statement on conversations with a quote-unquote, a lot of people. I see what these numbers are like, Jose.
A lot of people told me.
Yeah, I mean,
My
you
friends
had
over at MSNBC.
You had a poll, that Siena poll indicated last week, not only did they think he couldn't fix the economy, and they put Trump way ahead of him, but they also said they're not sure he's as competent as Trump. So there you have it. Somebody else ringing the bell saying Joe Biden doesn't look like he's going to be doing too good. And, again, Damon, there's still time to get on this train. There's plenty of room. You get on the
No,
Biden
I'm not getting on Team
candidate.
Chemtrails. Forget it.
No?
Me and
You don't
Solomon
think
are
so?
just fine where we are.
Yeah.
And although I did...
What?
I did tweet at one point this weekend because somebody... Who was it that... I need to have Solomon on the show to make me more confident. But
He's avoiding the show now.
I did. I did. Oh, okay. It was. I said I'd be lying if I wasn't getting. If I said I'm not getting a little nervous as this narrative continues to build, and that was because of this clip.
Where did you see this?
Well, I'm going to show it to you right now. I think this is clean. Let's play this.
I feel like we have turned a corner, though. Like after the last election, it was Trump is finished. And then a year later, it was, well, he's not going away. And then it was, he could win again. And now it seems like the consensus is almost Biden can't win. And he is losing in all the swing states, I think, except Wisconsin, and by bigger and bigger numbers.
He's losing there, too.
Is it too late to switch out? If the Democrats are going to do it, what?
Well, just thinking, is it too late? Probably.
Is it too late for him to win or too late to sub someone in?
Switch. Because like in these states where Biden is losing, it's interesting. The Democratic Senate candidate is not losing. So it just says something, which is it's not the party necessarily, somewhat, but it's the guy. They just don't see him as the guy. No matter what he does, he has plenty of victories. It doesn't seem to ever move the needle. But the Democrats will have to get off their keister now. Now.
Or, I mean, look at the actuarial tables and sort of there is the chance that,
he dies.
Well, we're not rooting for that.
No, we're not rooting for that. I'm sorry.
One of them will die.
Just realistically.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So there you go.
Wow. It used to be they talked about, they hope Donald Trump would die. Now they're hoping Joe Biden dies.
Well, I don't know if they're hoping, but that's the first
Holy
place she
moly.
went.
That's insane.
Yeah, so I did see that, and I did tweet that I would be lying if I said I wasn't getting a little nervous, just smidge, as this narrative continues to build. And now you bring me this another story.
Yeah,
But no, I'm not going anywhere.
And then there's some people saying that they're going to try to do the old switcheroo, believe it or not, with RFK, which I don't think they can do because he's already running as an independent, and I think it's outside the time that he can switch parties.
And he's too pro-Israel.
So there you have it. There's a little bit more. Again, Damon, plenty of time to get on this train and grab a nice seat, grab a cocktail, and enjoy the ride.
Come to your senses.
It's not happening. Me and John just need to just firm up our strategy, get together, and talk about this one more time, and I'll feel just fine about it. You said it's RFK. You think is the new top of the list to replace him?
That's the new Gab out there.
That one.
I don't know how true it is.
No chance.
No chance. That's a stretch.
But you never know. Well, aside from two things, he's pretty much a Democrat, right?
Well, of course.
Yeah.
So he's always been a Democrat.
But he's not enough of a Democrat for this party.
No, definitely not.
For them to no chance.
So there you have it.
All right, anything else in the news, or is that pretty much it?
No, Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi, the country's foreign minister, were found dead, and the country's foreign minister were found dead Monday's hours after their helicopter. We talked about this last break.
Yes, we did. Yes, they are dead.
Crashed in the fog,
gone,
leaving the Islamic Republic without two key leaders as extraordinary tensions gripped the wider Middle East. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who has the final say on the Shiite theocracy, quickly named a little-known vice president as a caretaker and insisted the government was in control, but the deaths marked yet another blow to a country beset by pressures at home and abroad. Iran has offered no cause for the crash nor suggested sabotage brought down the helicopter, which fell into mountainous terrain in sudden intense fog. Very Kobe-like when you say sudden intense fog.
I mean,
Right by Azerbaijan.
I mean, did you see the shots of the weather there? I mean, they didn't send any. There's no. What did you just say? They have no leads to why. I mean, just look.
Yeah.
What do you mean no leads to why?
Visibility was zero. I mean,
it was,
come on.
And they're not exactly flying like the the best of the best.
No, 1976 Model T helicopter.
Yeah, I mean,
with
what do you mean no reason
Vietnam
why?
parts and stuff. Yeah,
These
it's so
idiots.
scrappy stuff. I was reading about that.
So later in the day, hundreds of mourners, only hundreds, crowded the downtown square holding posters of Raisi and waving Palestinian flags. I don't know why they would do that. Some men clutched prayer beads and were visibly crying. Women were wearing black garb, gathered together holding photos of the dead leader. So there you have it. A good day for, I would say this is a good weekend all the way around.
Yeah. He only
Trump
killed
had a nice,
at least 15,000 of his own people.
Trump had a great rally. He was very funny. I saw some clips of him complaining about the podium, tilting left,
the NRA,
like some other things. And what else?
He's got a rally in the Bronx Thursday.
I like the rally in Minnesota. He had some expletive words to describe Joe Biden. I thought that was hilarious.
So I think all around a very good weekend. Plus, you couple that with today in court, and things are looking
and
bright.
A great PGA championship.
Yeah, Xander Schauffele.
All right, sports. Speaking of that, coming up, and David's here with some other news coming up as well. Hour 2 live from Studio 6B. Stay tuned.
And there you have it. Now we're back on.
Hey.
How's everybody doing out there?
How you doing?
Everybody's crazy in New York City, by the way. The crazies were out.
Good thing you were there to see that and report on it, because we never would have known. They're all crazy. They're nuts there. That's why I don't go there anymore.
The sketch artists in the trial are really bad.
God.
Oh, my God. You could do better. We could all do better.
They're sketchy, yeah. That's how these guys are.
It's true, Rick.
Yeah, crazy stuff. Cohen, huh? He got caught with the cookie jar today, huh? Oh, man, he got banged. My wife is like, "You guys going to report on this tonight?" I says, "Of course." That was unbelievable.
What's that?
On Cohen, admitting he stole money. Yeah, it's just a little something, a little admission.
You could hear a pin drop in the courtroom.
Oh, I bet you could.
It's unbelievable.
Was President Trump, was he in court today?
Yeah, he said hi again.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Did you invite him out?
Hi every day.
Tell him we'll meet for dinner. We got a few things we want to share with him. He must have went, bang, I told you. That's what I would have said if that was me. Oh, my goodness. Mic drop.
I think he was pissed at the judge.
Judge should have threw the case out the window right there. Man, that's unbelievable. No, it's not unbelievable. Just goes to show you the witch hunt, man. It just goes to show you. That was it. That's like the final. Not that we needed to see that, but you hope some of these ding-dongs out there, that they see what a sham this is. You got a guy on the stand lying like a sieve. Come on. So tired of this.
I want to see. The prosecution was hoping that wouldn't matter.
I want to see him get in just to go after these people. I just want to, and he won't even be bothered.
I think the prosecution intended on showing that he's a liar just like Trump. That's what I think. I just think it fell apart on them.
How does that prove their case?
Fell apart.
Well, it only has
like
to
the
be in the
Hindenburg
jury's
pulling in
mind
for-
to convict them based on the charges they've crafted. So it doesn't mean that it's legal.
But they still don't even know the charge.
Well, they've been given. They've been given them.
Yeah, they've been given, all right.
Right.
Well,
I don't know. You know what it is?
what do you mean?
What's the secondary crime to turn it to an? Hour 2 live from Studio 6B on a Monday. Real America's Voice, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. We'll do some more news with Delgado coming up. We'll do some news with David Zier here in a second. But we'll start Hour 2 with the Slickster. Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. MyPillow. Use our code LFS6B at checkout. Save you just a great savings on most great stuff. Towels, slippers, shoes, mattresses, mattress toppers, all the great stuff that Lindell has. Great savings for our audience. MyPillow.com/LFS6B will bring you right to our own page where you can see all the deals for this audience. And if you use promo code LFS6B at checkout, save up to 60% off. And then, of course, we always try to sweeten the deal. And if you forward your receipt to us showing that you used our code to LFS6B at yahoo.com, we'll send you the shirt of the month, which is the Trump 2024. Not the one I'm wearing. This one's new. But this one will be eventually a shirt of the month. We'll give this one away. And the Biden shirt, we're going to give that away. I'll wear that tomorrow night. But right now, we're giving away the white Trump 2024 Take America Back as one of our election shirts. So we're giving that away for free.
Sure.
So,
Beautiful.
Slickster, let's do some sports. What's going on?
AD, busy sports weekend, PGA, boxing, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. Let's talk about the NHL playoffs first. Right now, we have a big Game 7 puck drop at 9 p.m. tonight out in Vancouver, the Pacific Rim. We got the Canucks and Oilers in a Game 7 series, obviously tied 3-3. The winner is going to go on to play the Dallas Stars in the Western Conference NHL Finals to see who goes on to play the Stanley Cup between the New York Rangers or the Florida Panthers. They're all set for a Game 1 in the Garden, 8 p.m. Wednesday night. I think that's going to be a hell of a series. Might be 6-7 games. Florida Panthers looking to get even. They lost the Cup last year. They lost the finals, so they're looking to get back into the finals and win it. But the Rangers, who are the President Cup winners this year, look unstoppable after that huge win that they had last week over Carolina. We watched it pretty much right here. I called the shot on that one, how they came back and won down 3-1. 1-5-3. So we got some great playoffs and can't wait for that. We'll also have coverage for that game on Wednesday night. NBA action. Well, the Knicks got eliminated yesterday. The Pacers set a record, the highest shooting percentage in NBA playoff history. They shot a 67-1 last night, and unbelievable. Yesterday afternoon, I should say, and eliminated the Knicks, who had a great season but could not advance past the second round. Reminds me of another team that I root for. Pacers and Celtics, that will be a Game 1 Tuesday night. And how about the Minnesota Timberwolves, Big D? Big, kind of an upset. I mean, it was a 2 versus a 3, but it was still an upset. They knocked off the defending champion Denver Nuggets last night. What a fantastic game. They won that game going away in Denver, too, no less, in Ball Arena. So they are just absolutely an exceptional team. So we're looking forward to them. They're taking on the Dallas Mavericks, so that should also be a great series. So a lot of great playoff action. Obviously, we'll cover the games on 6B, give you scoring updates for those that care. And, the Sun and the Fever are getting it on tonight. Connecticut Sun and in the Indiana Fever. Right now, the Sun leading 84-82, 41 seconds to go in the fourth. Caitlin Clark looking for her first win in the WNBA. She turned her ankle earlier this evening.
She got hurt. hurt.
Yeah, but she did come back into the game. So she ran to the locker room, came back. So she is back in action. Saw she was on the court. 84-82. Sun holding them off right now. Storm right now trailing the Liberty 74-83. Liberty are playing pretty good this year as well. MLB action. Brewers lead the Marlins 2-1. Bottom of the ninth. End of eighth. The Nationals pounding the Twins 12-3. Yankees over the Mariners 3-1. Top of the eighth. Middle of the sixth. Royals over the Tigers 2-1. Cardinals blanking the Orioles 5-0. Top of the fifth. Top four. Astros over the Angels 4-1. Earlier today, the Padres down the Braves 6-5. The Blue Jays bombed the White Sox 9-3. Guardians nipped the Mets 3-1. The Braves 3-0 over the Padres. The Red Sox down the Rays 5-0 in Tampa. Diamondbacks and Dodgers coming out out west 10-10 first tip. Big boxing match over the weekend that actually those who still watch boxing, but this was a heavyweight unification bout, first one of its kind in 25 years. People are siding with a country at war. Tyson Fury suggests judges gave Usyk the victory due to the Ukraine war. Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart reporting. British heavyweight Tyson Fury's loss to Ukraine's Alexander Usyk on Saturday has now become something of an international controversy. Usyk became the first undisputed world heavyweight champion in 24 years after earning a split decision win over Fury. A ninth-round knockdown of Fury helped the Ukrainians narrow win on two of the judges' scorecards. However, the 6'8 British fighter did not agree with the decision. I believe I won the fight, Fury said. I believe he won a few of the rounds, but I won the majority of them, and I believe it was one of those, what can you do? One of them decisions in boxing. We both put on a good fight, best we can do. You know, his country is at war, so people are siding with a country at war, but make no mistake, I won that fight. In my opinion, I'll be back. I've got a rematch clause. The final scorecards read as follows. Usyk won the fight 115-112 and 114-113 on two cards. The third judge gave Fury a 114-113 victory. Unsurprisingly, Usyk saw it differently. Thank you so much to my team. Usyk said it was a big opportunity for me, for my family, for my country. Slava Ukraini. So I saw that fight. I did review the tape quite a bit, and it was a close fight, but Usyk just about put him out on his feet in the ninth round, and for me, that was enough to give him the nod by a point. I don't see any politics involved in this fight whatsoever about having a soft heart for Ukraine. I think Fury needs to just, lick his wounds and go home. He's a great champion. I'm sure they'll have a fantastic fight sometime in September or October. Well, October probably. There'll be a rematch, and I'm definitely going to be catching that fight. So it was good boxing all around. And you know what? Wanted to get into one other story. Wanted to talk about Raiders center Jim Otto, who passed away at the age of 86 over the weekend. One of the greatest Raiders ever to do it. He wore the 00, played back in the days of George Blanda and Ken Stabler and Otis Sistrunk. He was a great Raider. Passed away. They did not come up with the cause of death. He was 86. Man had a lot of injuries, but he was known as Mr. Raider, and I'm doing this right off the top of my head. The great center. Wanted to mention him. I know Nick 387 is a great Raider fan, although Sistrunk was in the Hall of Fame in 1980, way before Nick was born, but I'm sure he remembers exactly who he was when he was a great player, the great Otto Graham, I should say, Hall of Famer from 1980. Rest in peace. And that's a wrap in sports. Big D, back to you.
All right, Slick, very good. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell and MyPillow. Use our code LFS6B at checkout. Let's do some news with the host of Breaking Point, 8 a.m. Saturday mornings right here on Real America's Voice, and that would be one Mr. David Zier. Mr. Zier, what's going on?
Well, I agree with you about, what's that second crime, right? And the first one is the intent to defraud. The second one has to be linked to a state election violation or a federal violation, right?
Yeah, does anybody know what it is?
Well, no, because even the New York Times acknowledges that those state election laws only really apply to state and local races. So, right? How do you get there? So I agree with you.
No one knows, including the jury, I would think, what this secondary crime to turn this into a felony is.
Yeah. No, I understand. So did you get an email from me with a picture I sent of that my mother drew? If you have it. If not, I want to tell the audience a story really quick. When I was a child, my mother was best friends with Sandra Wood. I believe she lives in Kansas now. And my mother lost touch with her for like 42 years. And by the way, my mother was in Azerbaijan, I was saying a couple of weeks back. And all she remembers there is there was an oil well everywhere you looked. And the men treated the women like crap. But speaking of the Iranian helicopter crash right near the Azerbaijani border, but she was friends with this woman, Sandra, and I spent the summers with her on 34th Street in Manhattan when Manhattan was better, and she was a great friend to the family. I remember riding around in a Volkswagen Rabbit with her daughter, and really nice. She's a huge LFS 6B fan, and she loves you guys, and she watches the show every night. So I want to give a shout out to Sandra Wood. Now, this painting, this pastel, my mother is a brilliant artist. Like brilliant, uncanny. One day I'll show her work. I like Ronald Reagan. You can't even believe it. This was a picture of a Chinese fella that she did with pastels and hated it and tore it up. And Sandra went through the trash. Sandra Wood went through the garbage, picked out all the pieces, put them together, and framed it, and has hung it in every house she's lived in for the past 3 or 4 decades. It was a really moving story. I took my mother to see Planet of the Apes last night, which is an amazing movie. You have to see it. The special effects were unbelievable. Very good movie. And
they talk in that movie.
It came up. The apes talk and the humans can't because of the virus. So, but really a moving, touching story. And I just wanted to play. So a shout out to Sandra. Thank you for watching Real America's Voice News. We love you. We miss you. And then I wanted to play the Lawrence O'Donnell video here. That was cut number 12. Lawrence O'Donnell saying stealing isn't really stealing, to complement your earlier video.
Inside the courtroom, you've been there almost every day. You have the strength of
oh my goodness, he's so brave.
Beyond mortal men.
Yes.
What was worth it to you today? What did you see? What did you hear?
Well, you know, the courtroom is where I began as a writer and a reporter a long time ago. So this is a homecoming for me in terms of a workplace. The shocking thing at the end of that cross-examination, and I just can't tell you how stunning it was, because it's the thing that I was waiting for. I saw everything Todd Blanche. I've seen every minute of cross-examination. I've seen every single question he's asked. And he sat down and ended his cross-examination without asking a single question about the $130,000 that appears on the Alan Weisselberg notes about how they were structuring the payment to Michael Cohen. He asked about the $50,000 that's irrelevant to the $130,000, and that's where he very effectively got Michael Cohen to agree that yes, he stole $30,000. Later, when Cohen was asked about that on redirect by the prosecution, it didn't really sound like stealing $30,000. Right. It sounded a lot like Michael Cohen doing the little that he could within that calculation to rebalance the bonus he thought he deserved, and it still came out as less than the bonus he thought he deserved and the bonus he'd gotten the year before.
Yeah, so he rebalanced that money from over there where it was supposed to be.
There's no bottom for these people. No. There's no bottom.
No.
There is no bottom for people like Lawrence O'Donnell. There is not a bottom that you can reach.
And then I have a cut number 8. It's only like 10 seconds, I believe. Cash Patel outside the courthouse today. He was great. He said hello to everyone at RAB.
Michael Cohen lied on camera today. The world has seen it. He's a criminal, and he should be prosecuted. What's your
And he was great. He was really great. So I have a couple more things for you. That was it.
You can do them now or not?
Well, we only have a minute left, right?
Oh, we have a minute. Okay, so we'll do some more when we get back.
Sure.
Cash made a longer statement than that today. So I don't know if we have that, but we'll get to that one. If I have to pull it up, I'll pull it up. And more news coming up. that thing that the viewer sent us, right, Fran?
Yes, it is.
For Dad? I love that.
It's good stuff.
I just keep hearing like a vocal over it in my head.
So lay down a vocal track. Put it all together, Dave.
Get Forgiato blow on it.
You could be whittling a piece of wood and doing a vocal track over that. You'd be the next big thing. Maybe in Cousin Humper, North Carolina, you'd be number one. Top of the charts.
That's great stuff, man. I could picture no electricity, West Virginia mountains. Well, up in the Blue Ridge.
Dog Hurley says it's very Petticoat Junction. I could see that. Stealing isn't really stealing. Cassie. Democrat logic.
You have your reads here.
Oh, man.
Teal GMC on Rumble says that's hobo train hopping music right there.
Yeah. There was a song like that on John Cougar Mellencamp's Scarecrow. Some old lady singing.
What else is going on?
Do you have the Biden Morehouse College speech?
I have the.
All right, so if you have the story, I'll play the video.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if Damon was going to cut it up as a thing, but
please.
With a smattering of applause, he's talking, and you just hear the polite golf clapping going on. I'm like, oh my God, they hate this guy.
I won't sound like the blues on a Monday night. Everybody knows the next medical crisis is just around the corner. Whether it comes in the form of a pandemic or something much more mundane like a tick bite, you and your family need to be prepared. That's where the Wellness Company comes in. You know the Wellness Company. We've had their great doctors like Dr. Peter McCullough here right on the show. The Wellness Company and their doctors are medical professionals that you can trust, and their new medical emergency kits are the gold standard when it comes to keeping you safe and healthy. Be ready for anything. This medical emergency kit contains an assortment of life-saving medications, including ivermectin, Z-Pak. The medical emergency kit provides a guidebook to aid in the safe use of all these life-saving medications, from anthrax to tick bites to COVID to even a bioweapon like the plague. The Wellness Company's medical emergency kit is exactly what you need to have on hand to be prepared. Rest assured knowing that you have emergency antibiotics, antivirals, antiparasitics all on hand to help keep you and your family safe from whatever the globalists throw at us next. Go to twc.health/voice. That's www.twc.health/voice today and place your order. You can use promo code VOICE to save an additional 10%. Promo code VOICE to save an additional 10%. All right, let me talk to you about our friends over at Birch Gold. Can your savings weather an economic storm? Think about it. Think about what you've put away for the future if you've been able to save. You know, inflation renders all that cash that you've been saving pretty much worthless. Real estate, a lot of people look at their house as their big part of their retirement. Well, real estate can crash like it did in 2008. Economies like ours, built on a mountain of debt, can fall like a house of cards. We've seen it before. There are very few physical assets that you can invest in that stand the test of time. Of course, one of them is gold. Gold has withstood as a valued form of money for millennia. That's why people are flocking to it now, why Birch Gold is busier than ever. Through a little-known tax loophole, Birch Gold can help you convert a retirement account into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold. And the best part is, well, it doesn't cost you a penny out of pocket. Hello. To learn more, text America to 989898 and claim your free information kit on gold. Again, if your IRA or 401k can't weather an economic downturn, well, call the people that Rav trusts. That's, of course, Birch Gold. Text America to 989898 and secure your savings today. All right, live from Studio 6B on a Monday, 20 minutes past the hour. Slick's doing sports. David Zier's got some news, but let's do a little more news right now with Rick Delgado. News is brought to you by 7Cells, 7cells.com. Delgado, what's going on?
All right. Well, first I got to do a little personal shout out. Congratulations to my cousin's son, Marcos, on his graduation from Georgetown University. So congratulations to him.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Well done.
Graduating from Georgetown?
Yeah.
In what? Do you know?
Believe it or not, political. I believe, what do you call it? Political science?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I think he wants to get into politics. So we'll see. Could be interesting.
Do you know where his
I have no idea.
political meanderings lie coming out of Georgetown?
Which way is the wind blow?
I have no idea.
Delgado.
But he's
Does he
raised
watch
with
the show?
solid parents. Both still in
Delgado's
the
on, he don't
home.
watch.
So I'm sure.
Do they know you do a political show?
Oh, of course they do.
Yeah.
Really?
Of course.
Do they watch it?
Oh, of course not.
Oh, wow, great.
But I just wanted to send him big congratulations. Big step for Marcos taking his next step. So good for him. All the best. And speaking of things coming out of the D.C. area, I don't know if you caught this story, but Secret Service agents are seeking a probe of Joe Biden's DEI policies after a female agent launched that bizarre physical attack on her male superior last month. More than 36 U.S. Secret Service agents seeking the probe. They put it in writing, and they're challenging the Biden administration over its DEI policies that they say are undercutting the agency's ability to perform its core mission. Jennifer Jacobs, a Bloomberg White House correspondent, posted on social media last week that 39 U.S. Secret Service agents had signed a petition calling for the congressional investigation into whether DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, have created a national security threat. While Jacobs did not mention DEI in the post, said the agents circulating the petition are concerned about incidents indicative of inadequate training, a double standard in disciplinary actions, and a vulnerability to potential insider threats. According to the conservative website Western Journal, the petition was launched after a female U.S. Secret Service agent assigned to Vice President Kamala Harris's security detail reportedly suffered a mental breakdown and initiated a physical confrontation with her commanding agent at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland. The incident, like I mentioned, happened last month. The agent in question, Michelle Herzeg, grabbed another senior agent's personal cell phone, deleted apps from it. The agent retrieved his phone and thought nothing more of it, but she continued acting erratically. She then started mumbling to herself, hid behind curtains. This is a Secret Service agent. Guarding one of the most powerful people in the world, hiding behind curtains, and started throwing items like menstrual pads at an agent, telling him he would need them later to save another agent, and telling her peers that they were going to burn in hell and needed to listen to God. This lady is off her rocker. As she also screamed at the special agent in charge, claimed female officers on Harris's detail would help her and allow her to continue working. At one point, other agents on the scene believed Herzeg was suffering from a mental lapse, and the superior officer approached her to tell her she was relieved from her assignment. That's when she snapped entirely. She chest bumped him, shoved her superior, tackled him, punched him. Other agents rushed in to restrain her. They also took her gun, cuffed her, and removed her from the scene. So again, we haven't heard much about this incident once it happened, but inside the Secret Service, they are taking it very seriously, and they want answers as to what the hell's going on. I guess they've seen things happening in the last few years that has taken the Secret Service, a once proud agency, and kind of turning it into the FBI of protection. Kind of crazy. I don't know if you saw this. I know we kind of mentioned the Sean Puffy Combs security video from 2016 that was released last week. Well, he released his own hostage video this week. Yep, it's the I'm so sorry that you guys actually saw what I did. I was hoping this would never come out, but now that it came out, now I have to apologize for it.
Yeah.
Video. He says his behavior is inexcusable. He also said in the video that he posted on Instagram, he called his behavior, like I mentioned, shoving his and beating his ex-girlfriend Cassie at the time, matching the description of an incident she detailed in a now settled lawsuit. Combs, who's the subject of a federal investigation and numerous civil lawsuits, said the video statement on Instagram page that his behavior on that video was inexcusable. He says it's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life.
Of course.
But sometimes you got to do that.
Oh, yeah.
He said, I effed up. I mean, I hit rock bottom.
I mean, come on.
But I make no excuses. You are making an excuse. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I will take full responsibility for my actions now that it's outside the statute of limitations.
Now that it's out, and we all know it's all these feelings come rushing in.
And I can't be prosecuted for this.
I guess they weren't money grabs the girls were looking for.
I'm still disgusted. I was disgusted when I did it. I'm even disgusted more now that you saw it. I'm so sorry, but I'm committed to be a better man each and every day, and I'm not asking for forgiveness.
Oh, no.
I'm truly sorry.
Yeah, sure.
So there you have it.
It's
Sean
hip-hop
Diddy
Combs.
Combs.
Didn't I read that he supposedly did this for years to this woman?
Yeah.
And others.
A pattern of abuse.
And others. There's others.
There you have it.
All right, more news with Delgado, Zier, sports with Slick, all coming up. Terrible idea to make that video. Just makes you look even more, not that we need you to look more guilty, but terrible idea.
Yeah, bad advice.
Chevelle said, Cheval Yvonne, little pink houses were shot in my hometown in southern Indiana.
Tell him to go fix Detroit.
Yeah, right, that's the one. You guys didn't play that?
No. I just saw your picture, Slick. Who'd you run into? Where?
I had my meeting, so I was over at Flanagan's, and I walked into the bar to grab a drink before the meeting. The guy goes, "Slick Rick!" And he watches the show. He's Larry he was from Tampa. He just happened to be up here visiting. And he said hello. He watches the show every night, loves the show. He goes to his friend, he goes, "That's Slick Rick." He goes, "Who the hell is that?" He's on 6B. He goes, "The hell is that?" His friend had no idea, like most of the country. But Larry recognized me. Bought me a drink, too. Bought me one of my nice blue martinis. We took a picture together. I sent it over to you guys.
More popular than you think. Everywhere we go.
Yeah, he lives down in the Tampa area.
Yeah.
Larry from Tampa.
A lot of people in Tampa watch 6B.
Yeah?
Yeah. Conservative coast compared to the
Miami Wingding.
Southeast, yeah. Which still has a big conservative element.
Hey, when are we doing Wingding Wednesdays?
They're a wingding.
I love that word, wingding. There's a left wingding. Oh, man.
Wow, that strikes me so funny.
Yeah, this energy drink didn't help. I'm like wiped.
Yeah? Noble. You had a Noble?
No, I have a Celsius.
Oh, Celsius. Oh.
Peach vibe. They said it's good for you.
They lied.
They lied. No corn syrup, no aspartame, no artificial colors. 7 essential vitamins.
Oh, no wonder it doesn't work.
Right.
Doesn't have anything in it.
Doesn't have anything in it.
No crap.
Hell.
Yeah.
What the heck?
not laced with.
Good Lord Almighty!
It's Meta Plus formula, green
Good
tea,
googly goo.
EGCG.
You have more news, Delgado?
Yeah. You want more? I got more for
I didn't
you.
say that. I just wondered if you have more.
I got more.
I have
You don't
a
want
couple of
more?
things.
I can
What happened to
keep it
Mystic
myself.
Dan? He didn't
I
pull
can
his
keep it
weight
to
in the race,
myself.
huh, Big D? Mystic Dan didn't come through.
Well, let's start with sports. When did you do sports? When? Top of the hour?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll do sports here.
Horse hockey.
And then we'll do.
I just have 2 quick clips for you before the end of the show.
Okay. We'll do YouTube. We'll do this side of the table over here.
Good googly goo.
This side of the table
side
over
of
here.
midnight.
We'll deliver a pizza
Hey!
over there for the
And then we'll
last
finish with this side of the table over here.
Hey,
second. You take this.
busy weekend in
Touch
Louisville.
the hap. I'm working on that. Hey, Ma.
Why you always got to touch the head? I
That's
work a
fine.
long time on my head.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday night. Glad you're in. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's doing news. David Zier's got some more news and clips coming up here in a second. So, I try to watch some of the Sunday shows so you don't have to because, most of you have standards. Eating on the weekends, breakfast, nice bread. You don't want to get sick at 10 a.m., 11 a.m. watching Meet the Depressed or To Face the Nation or one of these shows. But I have to, speaking of Face the Nation, this was a segment on on artificial intelligence.
Hey!
And this 56 seconds was probably the most interesting part of the entire show, and it sounded like this.
All right, this one I'm going to ask you about.
You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-cop. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-American. Donald Trump lacked the courage to act.
So what did you think of this one?
He didn't blink.
Not at all, right?
So that suggests it's fake.
This one's actually real. Yes, he didn't blink for the whole 17-second clip. And when this actually surfaced about a year ago, there were conspiracy theories and people thinking that this had to have been a deep fake. The reason that we can tell that this one is not a deep fake, we really need to rely on the source, first of all, coming out a full White House video, giving a speech, and these were remarks that were delivered virtually. We're not only at risk of seeing things that are false and thinking that they're true, but actually seeing things that are true and thinking that they're false.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called drugs.
Yeah.
No blinking. That's what it's called. That was a warm-up for the debates and probably the State of the Union. That was their warm-up to see how he would do.
Oh, man.
That's what it was. People have pulled that clip back up and made it sound like it's just happened and say, geez, this is the same guy from a week ago, but it's not a recent clip. That's from like a year ago.
One of our crew members on the road in Iowa, Hassan, a really nice guy, he was drilling for oil up in Alberta, in Canada. And he said it got to 75 below. And you were trained not to blink your eyes for like half an hour at a time or more, or your eyes would freeze. And maybe Joe Biden took some of those lessons.
Okay.
Maybe when he was an oil rigger up in Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another job.
Exactly.
Right. After he was a smoke jumper on, maybe he did that.
Right. He landed there and then
he smoke jumped onto the rig.
Smoking, all right.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell and MyPillow. LFS6B is the promo code to use at checkout. Slick Rick, what's going on?
Oh, like I said, busy weekend. How about the Preakness, Big D? 2024 recap. Big D lost a few bucks, I think, over the weekend. Seize the Gray wins.
No, I didn't.
You had Seize the Gray? Oh, you had would you wheel the D in the fourth?
I didn't. My horse stopped as a photo finish. My horse stopped for an oil painting. No, I didn't bet a horse.
Yeah. Well, the win denies Mystic Dan a shot at the Triple Crown. This is Jordan Mendoza, Joe Rivera, and Nicole Poel of USA Today. There will be no Triple Crown winner this year, obviously. Seize the Gray is the winner of the 2024 Preakness Stakes, denying 2024 Kentucky Derby winner Mystic Dan the chance of becoming the 14th horse to win the Triple Crown. History was made with trainer D. Wayne Lucas, who at 88 becomes the oldest trainer to win a Triple Crown race way back in the day. Mystic Dan got off to a good start out of the gate, but Seize the Gray seized the lead early and never let up. Mystic Dan made a late push after the final turn, but was unable to catch up to the winner. Mystic Dan finished second. With no Triple Triple Crown winner possible this year. Justify in 2018 remains the last horse to achieve the remarkable feat. Caesar the Grey won the 2012 Preakness Stakes to deny Mystic Dan the chance to win the Triple Crown, and the owners of the winner will share a hefty prize as a result. The purse of this year's race was $2 million, the highest in Preakness history. As a result, the owners Caesar the Grey, my racehorse, which sells public shares of the horse, will get $1.2 million. Those who bet on Caesar the Grey to win the race could also cash in, and even more, getting the finalists of the race this year. So very good race, but unfortunately not to be. It's always great to see a Triple Crown winner. You don't see many in your lifetime, very few in fact, but would have been great to see it. Now, we had a great PGA Championship, Big D. I don't know if you caught a little bit of that. I think David Zia was watching. We were getting hourly updates from him. But Xander Schauffele's first major makes a satisfying finish to a bizarre PGA Championship. This is Gentry Estes of USA. Louisville, Kentucky. The night before the round of golf that forever changed his career, Xander Schauffele's father, Stefan, texted him as saying, "A steady drip breaks the stone," or something like that. It was in German, Schauffele said. I had to ask him what the translation was. Sounds like your father-in-law, Big D. The point was crystal clear. So was the meaning of Schauffele's one-stroke victory over Bryson DeChambeau to win the 2024 championship at Valhalla Golf Club. It means that Schauffele 30 will never again hear himself described as golf's best player to have never won a major. When Schauffele sank a nervy 6-foot birdie putt on the 18th green to win, the stone finally broke. It finished a wire-to-wire victory that started with the 9 under par 62 in Thursday's opening round. Sunday's 6 under par 65 moved him to 21 under for the week, giving Schauffele the best 72-hole score ever in a major tournament. So a lot of first, Big D. We had NBA 67.1%. The Indiana Pacers shooting a first playoff record percentage, which is incredible. And then we had Schauffele doing some good stuff. So good weekend, busy weekend in sports. Last wrap, I'll give you the NHRA results. They were in Chicago, Illinois over the weekend, and I'll update you on some scores as well. Let you know how Caitlin Clark finished her game. All right, that's a wrap.
That you should look up the story on the former Red Sox pitcher, Austin Maddox. You might want to check that one out for your next sports report.
And Slick, that finale at the PGA Championship was riveting. You know, when Xander got stuck in that trap at the end, I thought he was going to lose. And Victor Hovland was just phenomenal. And even Colin Morikawa made a comeback towards the end.
Made a nice run,
a nice run. But I thought it was very exciting.
Yeah, he's a good guy, too.
Good finish.
Good finish. Who'd you have in that one?
Morikawa, another guy who can't finish.
Because you bet on him all the time.
He bets on him. That's why.
I hate him for that.
And I didn't bet on him this time. And, of course, he
you have
choked again. And Tony Finau, where'd he finish? Of course, nowhere to be found. He's another one who
he finished in the clubhouse.
He was tied for 18th, Finau. Tied for 18th.
He finished, he finished at the 19th hole at the bar.
Scheffler had a little bit of a comeback. The guy
best
came
hole
in
of all.
8th.
Yeah, Scheffler had a rough Saturday, actually, the day after the whole ordeal.
Yeah.
So,
and McIlroy moved up to 12. He was behind.
Oh, how about, well, I mean, I don't want to gossip like we're paid 6 at the New York Post here, but have you heard the story that the Roy McIlroy might be having a little fling with Amanda Balionis of CBS.
Whoa.
The golf reporter who interviewed him on Mother's Day.
Wow.
When Rory did not mention his wife on Mother's Day, just mentioned his mother, and everybody thought that was weird. Then we find out 2 days later he files for divorce. And now this morning, there's a report, I don't know that it's true, that Rory and Amanda Balionis of CBS, who is their golf reporter.
Oh, you heard that from a little birdie?
Well, no, it's all over social media with people having reports of, friends who work at restaurants who have seen him and all this other stuff. So who knows?
I don't know. There you go. Well, yeah, that would make sense why he wouldn't mention his wife in front of his girlfriend.
Yeah, that would.
It's not a good move, right, Delgado?
That's not a great one. So.
Who got the eggs Benedict?
Check, please, on 6. All right, Slick, very good. Let's do some news with the host of Breaking Point. And then, of course, what am I doing? No, we're going to you next. We're doing this side of the table.
Yeah, right. Hey.
I'm tired.
All right,
let's do some news.
It's your other left.
With my other left.
Yeah.
That would be Team Chemtrails. One half of Team Chemtrails. That would be Rick Delgado with the news. Yeah, that's right. A third. Zier's on the team chemtrails too. So a third of Kim.
He's on the trail.
Whatever. Let's do the news,
Somewhere.
Delgado. What's going on?
All right. Well, Joe Biden, of course, was out and about all weekend. I know you've got the Morehouse video. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But, of course, he was out doing what he does. Gaffing it up and of course making a problem for himself everywhere he turns. Let's start off with this one as he tries to talk about the hostages that are being held by Hamas, but you can barely make out what he says here. Cut number 5.
My administration is working around the clock to free the remaining hostages, just as we have freed hostages already.
What?
And here today is Hirsch Goldberg Poland, and still he is not here with us, but he's still being held by Hamas.
Right. So the guy I was going to introduce you to is not here today because he's still being held by Hamas. He's one of those hostages.
Wait, can we play that again,
yes,
please?
Play that again.
I wasn't paying total attention. One more time.
I can't wait for this debate.
My administration is working around the clock to free the remaining hostages, just as we have freed hostages already. And here today is Hirsch Goldberg Poland, and still he is not here with us, but he's still being held by Hamas.
Yeah.
Oh my!
What he just said.
I don't know what he said.
Nobody knows what he just said. He doesn't know what he just said. As a matter of fact, there are sometimes you wish you didn't know what he just said.
Maybe
I'm talking about...
He could introduce that poor soul to the dead senator that he thinks is in Minnesota, maybe. I mean...
Or the guy in a wheelchair when he tells him to stand up. Think about.
Oh, God. But this guy.
Here's cut number 3, where Joe Biden says that, he said this before, but it's always a laugh riot when he talks about this. Cut number 3, Joe Biden.
He calls the erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill patriots.
What did he call them?
The erectionists who stormed Capitol Hill patriots.
Of course.
Brought to you by Viagra.
You got to watch those erectionists.
You got to watch those January 6th erectionists.
He's a stiff old
They
Joe,
build
sure
stuff,
is.
the erectionists, right? They're builders.
Yes.
Yeah,
but he's not the only one stuck with Trump erection syndrome.
Come on, guys. It's hard for him. It's hard for him to talk.
TES.
Here's cut number 4.
It's a hard subject to cover. Come on.
Yes. Here's cut number 4. Trump erection syndrome.
Let's talk about the fact that President Trump incited an erection.
She got the little blue pill jacket on,
his
too.
cases of, he's got charges of inciting an erection.
Donald John Trump
here we go.
incited the erection.
Guilty feet, it has no rhythm.
Yeah.
Wham! Wham, bam!
Yeah, wham, exactly. Exactly. That's real wham.
Yeah,
Thank you. Bam. Jeez.
So there you have it. Joe Biden
man.
out and about.
Oh, God.
David Zier has the Morehouse speech. He'll play that for you in just a little bit. On Friday and over the weekend, he also said it on the at the rally. Donald Trump is demanding Joe Biden be drug tested ahead of the presidential debate. Both candidates have agreed to participate in. The former president cited the incumbent's State of the Union address in March in his call for drug testing, alleging that Biden was as high as a kite when he delivered that speech. He goes, I want to debate. I just want to debate this guy, but, and I'm going to demand a drug test, too, by the way, he told Republicans during a speech at the GOP dinner in Minnesota. I am. I don't want him coming in there like State of the Union where he was high as a kite, according to the former president. We're going to demand a drug test, Trump reiterated, and the Biden campaign did not immediately respond to the Post request for a comment. Biden, 81, spoke loudly and at a fairly rapid clip during his lengthy State of the Union address. And so then you have the comment by Representative Greg Murphy. I think we played that last week, where he alleged that Biden must have been jacked up on something on that day, and he has it on good authority.
He says he has proof.
Yeah.
He didn't allege. He alleged that he knows.
Yeah. So there you have it.
Hurry up. Meet me offside and I'll show you.
I'm leading the polls.
Oh, my God.
I'm leading the polls.
David Zier loves the poll.
Yeah, he's a big poll guy.
see this rapper that killed himself?
Gotta have those
Yeah.
reckonings there.
Really?
On film.
Really?
He accidentally killed himself.
He accidentally pulled the trigger.
Accidentally killed
He
himself.
pointed a gun at his head and pulled the trigger.
Are you
Duh.
kidding?
Oh boy, oh boy.
That's a laser.
Probably.
Yeah.
He's not very bright.
Thank you.
Bless you, my son.
Thank you.
All right, let's go in the chat here. Let's see what's going on.
The home stretch now. Why do I sound like a cowboy with hemorrhoids?
Speaking of Cowboys, man, I was sad to see old Patrick Gosh died.
Who?
Patrick Gosh, founder of RFD TV.
Oh, really?
What is RFD TV?
RFD?
Yeah.
It was where Imus went after he got fired from MSNBC. He started back
Midwest, right?
on RFD with Patrick Gosh, yeah.
He gave him a shot.
Before he went to Fox Business. Yep.
Wow.
Oh, someone else. Oh, man. How about that terrible story of the news anchor from CNN? Couldn't believe that either.
Oh, the one
What happened?
she died?
Alice, oh my God. I can't think.
Alice Stewart.
Alice Stewart. Yeah, 58.
Yeah.
And everybody's
this
asking.
Austin Maddox story is terrible.
Isn't it terrible?
I'm reading it now. I'll run it.
She worked for Huckabee.
My last story. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Guy's a multi-millionaire, right? Gotta be. He pitched for them how many years? Oh, pitched for Boston United. He wasn't on the team that long.
So what happened to Austin Maddox?
He got caught up in a underage sex ring down in Florida.
Trying to have sex with a 14-year-old.
What?
That'll get you arrested.
Yeah, that's usually not good.
What an ass.
Using a computer to solicit a child.
15 will get you 20. That's all right.
She was 14.
We've been rocking and rolling on Livingston Saturday night. Name that tune.
That is crazy. What is wrong? These guys are nuts.
So
name that tune.
Meatloaf?
In the chat. Somebody name that tune.
What tune? I missed it.
15 will get you 20. That's all right.
Oh.
Or name the artist. We'll be rocking and rolling on a
Friday night.
Livingston Saturday night. Live from Studio 6B, 13 to the hour. On a Monday night, Slick's been doing sports. Delgado's doing the news. David Zier's got some more news coming up. We'll start with David Zier, and then we'll get back to Delgado to finish it off. The host of Breaking Point, 8 a.m. right here Saturday mornings on Real America's Voice. And, of course, your main coverage for the Trump disaster in the city, Mr. David Zier. What's going on?
I'll be back on the ground tomorrow covering court from about 11 a.m. on. And Wednesday, there is no court. And Thursday is the Trump rally in Crotona Park in the Bronx. About 3,500 people will be in the amphitheater in Crotona Park. Just south of the Cross Bronx Expressway, which is considered South Bronx. There'll be a secondary rally with Dion Cheney and friends up in Arthur Avenue. So it's an excuse to go get some fresh mozzarella and some cingale con pappardelle. You know, wild boar cheeks with some handmade pappardelle from Borghetta's. They've been there for 100 years. Very excited about that. Got to stop in there. So that should be very exciting. You know, Trump's changing the dynamics here. Flipping the script on everybody. And then on Friday, there is no trial. Saturday, I'll be in D.C. covering Trump at the National Libertarian Convention. So that should be interesting. And I'll get you the details on that. I just wanted to play two quick clips for you in reference to Rick Delgado, Biden at Morehouse College. Cut number 10, Biden talking about how black people are still discriminated against in the United States.
You missed your high school graduation. You started college just as George Floyd was murdered.
Oh, here we go.
And there was a reckoning on race.
Graduating.
It's natural to wonder if democracy you hear about actually works for you. What is democracy? If black men are being killed in the street, what is democracy? The trail of broken promises still leave black communities behind. What is democracy? You have to be 10 times better than anyone else to get a fair shot. Most of all, what does it mean, as we've heard before, to be a black man who loves his country, even if it doesn't love him back in equal measure?
What a jerk.
That's a stupid thing to say.
What a
jerk. Look at the lame applause.
Listen to the smattering of applause.
They turn their backs on him in their chairs, a lot of the kids.
At Morehouse or just in general?
Yeah, just in general. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I watched that yesterday.
Wow.
The disgusting, self-loathing, hating, America-hating, God, he's the worst.
Well, someone else is writing that and putting it in front of him. You know, the
just
activist.
Another pandering politician. Did you notice?
Makes me want to puke.
That has Obama written all over it.
Did you notice the bald guy sitting behind him? The
No.
white guy? That was probably a Secret Service agent in case he falls on his ass.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to share that with you, and really quick.
This is a guy. It's honestly, it gets me so aggravated for a guy who we heard on the NPR tapes talking about black jungles and his kids not and then busing and every you ain't black. I mean, we could go down the list. We don't need to hear anything from that guy about the state of America, the state of race in America, or what it's like to be a black man in America. We do not need to hear any of it from that guy who's been a racist his whole entire life.
Yeah, and I pulled that because of the lame applause at the end. I really was
three people
interesting dynamic. And then really quick, this is a story out of Oregon, cut number 9. A man in a woman's race, a woman or a female pretending to be a man running this race in Oregon in the state finals. Do we have that?
National.
That's Aiden Gallagher. He's a boy that thinks he's a girl. Came in first place in the women's 200-meter Oregon State Championships. But check it out as he crosses the finish line.
Yeah, chorus of booze.
You know, definitely so. Gets what's coming to him for sure. And thanks to Libs of TikTok for airing that tonight. And that's all I have for you, Damon.
All right, very good, David Zier. We'll be back on the trial tomorrow. Let's do some other news with Rick Delgado. News is brought to you by 7 Cells. What's going on?
All right. Well, I'll make this quick because I know Slick Rick has got some stuff for you. AMC Networks is facing backlash after it placed a warning label, believe it or not, before the classic 1990 mobster film Goodfellas, cautioning viewers that it might hurt their feelings and it may defy modern cultural norms. It says this film includes language and or cultural stereotypes that are inconsistent with today's standards of inclusion and tolerance and may offend some viewers.
What flick is that?
For Goodfellas.
Are you kidding?
On AMC. Representative for AMC told the New York Post, in 2020, we began adding advisories in front of certain films that include racial or cultural references that some viewers might find offensive. However, the Post noted other mob movies are not given the same warning, instead given typical cautions about nudity and violence. AMC, they were reached out to clarify the date of the warning was added to Goodfellas. They have yet to respond. This is basically a former NYPD cop who played a police officer in Goodfellas, Bo Dietl, told the New York Post, this is political correctness, has taken everything away. This is how life was back then. It's not a clean and beautiful thing. You can't cleanse history. If you want to tell a true story, you got to tell it the way it is. So look out for that if you're watching anything on AMC. They're going to try and make sure that everybody, Karen, that's where the Karen thing came from.
It should say...
Yeah. So, all the Karens out there, you'll have your little warning label that, it won't hurt your sensitive feels.
It should say in the beginning, grow a pair.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I got for you, Damon, wrapping up news.
All right, very good. Let's do a little more sports before we wrap it up in here with that. Slick Rick, what's going on, Slick?
All right, Big D, one more sweep of the scoreboard. Right now, NHL action, Game 7 up in Vancouver. No score, Oilers and Canucks. End of first period. There should be a wild one there. And we have NBA action. Well, Pacers and Celtics, that'll be tomorrow night at 8 p.m. But WNBA, Caitlin Clark has lost her 4th game now. She had 17 points tonight, had a decent night, did roll her ankle, but came back and tried to finish strong. However, Alyssa Thomas and the Connecticut Suns, just too much for them. 88-84 winners. And, well, some disturbing news in the sports world today. Former Red Sox pitcher Austin Maddox arrested as part of a underage sex sting operation. Austin Maddox, who pitched for the Boston in 2017, was charged with 4 felony counts. This is Scott Thompson of Fox Sports. Austin Maddox, a former Boston Red Sox pitcher, was arrested in Florida on Monday as part of an underage sex sting. Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters said Maddox was one of 27 people who were arrested on part of an operation that spanned across multiple agencies. Maddox and the others arrested are being accused of soliciting sex over the internet from those believed to be children, according to officials. Maddox, 33, intends to fight the allegations, according to his defense attorney, James Hill. He will be entering a not guilty plea should formal charges be filed against him. Maddox is being charged with 4 felony counts, which include traveling to meet after using a computer to solicit a child. Bail was set at $300,000 for Maddox, who is being held in jail. The sexting operation saw Maddox communicating with an undercover agent who pretended to be an underage girl on April 28th. According to the arrest report, Maddox said he wanted to have sex with the girl, the undercover agent, though it was made known to him that she was 14 years old. So, Big D, what can I tell you? That's terrible news. And Scotty Scheffler, his arraignment has been postponed until June 3rd. His attorney cannot make it, so he's going to be arraigned on the what happened on Thursday.
I thought they dropped the charges.
I was going to say, I think between now and June 3rd, you're going to see those charges. I don't know why, but I think you will. All right, as always, we salute our military, active and inactive, police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, all emergency personnel, all our truckers, all our farmers, everybody who keeps the country moving. Thanks, guys, on the show. David's here. Be safe tomorrow. Aaron, Fran, great job as always. We'll see you tomorrow night. Live from Studio 6B. Have a great night, everybody.